Hi everyone, today I am going to experiment with the effects on the Soundcraft. It's my new mixing desk. It's the MTK 12. It's a lovely mixer. Still learning how to use it, but what I wanted to do is play around with this section here, which is the effects. And the synth I'm going to use is a MicroMonsta, which I've got hooked up to my key step. So we're going to actually have the MicroMonsta on channel 5 and 6 here. Quite a nice little synth patch on that. So what we're going to do is the MicroMonsta is on channel 5 and 6. It's routed onto the master bus, panned left and right. The same time I've got the FX return channel set up here. So what I've done is taken channel 5 and 6, routed those two channels using these two knobs here onto the FX channel. And so we're going to go through and we're going to try different FX. And what we can do is we can bring them in, or we can direct the FX channel onto the master bus by pressing this key here. As you can hear, now when we do that, the effect, which is the plate reverb, I can adjust the level, this is max. And now this is min, a little reverb. And then if I turn off the FX return onto the master bus, as you can hear, it's completely gone. And I can actually put the FX onto the master bus and completely take the MicroMonsta off. So that's just the MicroMonsta playing completely through the FX channel here on the Soundcraft, back out through the master channel. I kind of find it sounds nicer if you do a bit of a mix of the two. So I've got the pan on the MicroMonsta very wide left and right, and then I've got the FX channel just straight down the middle. Makes a nice layering. Let's try a few other ones. This is the Spring. This one's pretty wild. Now this is on minimum right now. You can hear it there. Turn it up to mid. It's pretty harsh. Put it on the max. That's pretty wild. Try a few other ones. Let's take a look at Hall and Course. You turn this knob here and then press it to select the reverb effect you want. I just turn off the MicroMonsta so we hear the effect itself. That's a very nice one. I like that. That's just on the mid setting. Turn it up higher. Sort of has a little delay before it comes in. What else do we have here? Plate, Hall and delay. Let's try that one. That adds a lot to the signal. You can see, I don't know if you can see that right now when I'm speaking, we're peaking at about minus 6 dB. When I play that one on, it was going way up into like +3, +6, and I was peaking out here on the FX return, so I had to drop the fader down. Let's go over here onto the delay. They have a second set of parameters here on the Soundcraft. This is the delay settings. Let's see, we got 2-second delay. You can a modifiable delay, I guess. A tape delay, which is kind of wild. I tried that earlier today. Let's try the 2-second delay. I suppose this is going to add 2 seconds of delay onto whatever I play. And sure enough, that's what it's doing. You can't really see, but I press the key, you can count to 2, and then the sound comes in. I think this one probably works best. Those delays work best if we have the original also wired back onto the master bus here. I suppose like everything, less is more, so you probably want to have the delay setting down a bit. Let's take a look at tape delay. This one's kind of cool. Now I have the Soundcraft, the master bus disabled from the MicroMonsta here, so we're just hearing the effect on the FX return channel. So by twiddling the knob there, parameter 2, by changing that, I'm able to really kind of play around as if I was scratching or putting my finger on a tape play. Listen. Kind of fun. Let's try lo-fi. Studio chorus. Let's see what this one sounds like. It's not bad. Bring in the original on the main bus. There's a nice richness to that. I like it. There's a nice richness on that one. Tremolo. Well, this will probably do what it says on the tin and give a sort of a tremolo effect. Wow. Yeah, you can really hear that there. I'll put it on mid. I'll put it right down to minimum. So it's kind of like if you had an LFO applied onto it in the synth. Vibrato, let's try that. Not too much. Put it on the mid setting. Fairly minimal effect, I think, given this particular patch on the MicroMonsta has a fair amount of dynamics to it anyway, so adding vibrato probably doesn't add a whole amount to it. Listen to the phaser one. Let's add in the original MicroMonsta. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So you can have a lot of fun with these. I've been just playing around today, learning how to get the deck set up, the mixing desk set up, getting the gain right here so that I can bring the levels up and watching everything. So I want everything kind of coming in around -6 to -3 here. Seems to be the best advice I've found online. I've got my mic coming in on channel 1 here just for recording this. Usually I'd have my Digicact, my Digitone over here on 7 and 8, 9 and 10 stereo channels. MicroMonsta here on 5 and 6. I then use the first 4 channels for either the microphone or bringing in my pocket operators, which are actually quite a lot of fun to play through this as well. Oops, hitting the camera there, not smart. Anyway, I hope that was kind of useful. I found this to be quite a powerful desk. I'm not a really expert on mixing, so it's taken me a bit of time to understand how all of this works. It's got an FX return channel here. These blue knobs allow you to direct any of the 12 channels into this FX setting here. It's also got 2 auxiliary buses, so you can actually route an amount out of each of these channels, channel 1, 2, up to 12, through these 2 buses, through aux 1 and aux 2, and then you can actually bring these out. So if you had like studio monitors or headphone monitors for musicians or vocalists, and you can also direct some of that back onto an auxiliary 3 channel, which can go into a different output over here. You can also group these into, and on this particular version of it, the 12 channel version, has a master bus, that's the main output, and then bus 1, 2, which means you can group these certain sets of these by pressing these buttons onto this group 1, 2, which you can then mix separately and listen to. So if you want to like have all your drums on one group, vocals or something on another group, that seems to be a pretty powerful tool. The bigger desk, the 22 version, has 4 groups that you can use. This is the MTK one. I really like this, and this is the reason I got it, because it's a USB audio interface. So it's not only a mixing desk where you get all of your output on channel 13 and 14, so a stereo output here on channel 13 and 14 into the computer. You also get each of these channels available as either stereo channels, so stereo pairs. You can take channel 1 and 2 as a stereo pair, 3 and 4 as a stereo pair, or it can give them to you as individual mono channels. So you can have 12 mono channels from your inputs here, plus your 2 extra channels of the mix outputs, your main mix output. So 14 channels going into Ableton, which gives you lots and lots of options for recording. It's got XLR inputs, it's got balanced TRS inputs here, it's got some RCA inputs as well. It's got just about every input you might want, so it's a really, really flexible. It does take up a lot of room on my desk, but you know, I think for what you get, it's worth it. Hope you enjoyed that. Hit like, hit subscribe, and leave me some comments and questions. Thanks for watching.